sky, with its boundless power, ties these two together in a love tainted by strange, sinister terror. The siren song of the sea, pulsating like a bongo beat, calling, driving the sea people.
You saw how she looked at me, how she spoke to me. She's one of them. She's one of the sea people, and Johnny, I'm so afraid.
You're a stranger here, and I guess you don't know what everybody here knows.
Ellen, dear.
In the past 2 years, Maura's had 2 boyfriends, and they're both dead now.
I'm the fire chief. Best one in the whole darn town. Slow it climbing up them ladders, but the fast are coming down. Boys, there's many a fire left in old Betsy. Good old Betsy. I'll bet one ginger snap. Well, I'll raise you 2 cookies. Yeah, I'll raise you 5 cookies. I'll bet 10 salty crackers. Well, let's see what you got. Ain't me. Ain't me. You're all cheating. Come on, Betsy!
Sister, sister, oh so fair, why is there blood all over your hair?
Whatever happened to baby Jane? To seek the answer to that question, we will follow a man plotting a murder. Highly specialized work. But Robert Aldrich has considerable experience in such matters. He has a dozen successful pictures to his credit. His stars are Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. The scene: an Italianate villa in a once fashionable section of Los Angeles. Its halls, once crowded with the bright, the beautiful, and the celebrated, now echo only to hectic whispers, the insistent call of a buzzer better left unanswered. A telephone that has become an object of fear. A supper tray that will not be touched. A window barred against the world. A hammer. A mute scrawl crying for help. From these elements, director Aldrich has fashioned a motion picture with a curious title: Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? Betty Davis is Jane Hudson. Joan Crawford is Blanche Hudson. But we must warn you, if you're long-standing fans of Miss Davis and Miss Crawford, this motion picture is quite unlike anything they have ever done. It is a bold essay in the art of the macabre, a venture to the ultimate reaches of terror. A motion picture definitely not for the squeamish. And we beg you, as the tension builds to the screaming point, as shock after shock assaults your senses, try to remember that this is only a motion picture. Try and remember.
Get away from me! Get away from me!
No, we can't show you anymore. Only when you see whatever happened to baby Jane will you know. And the answer is total suspense.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, flying solo tonight, as you can see, and we are back. It has been, it feels like it has been a hot minute since we've been here, like in the stew live, doing it up live. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Alana already in the chat, I see. Thanks for being here. This is kind of an unscheduled episode. I was not planning to be live tonight. Initially, we did not have it on the schedule. But you know, we like to fit in one more episode before New Year's, usually if we can. And I did get a little behind before Thanksgiving when I was doing a little crew job. So luckily we had some space in the schedule to play catch up. And we're doing that tonight. And it's funny because, like I said, flying solo, Evan is still on his sabbatical, which that's the wonderful phrase that he's come up with. So you know, it's always funny, like coming back in and doing a solo episode, because it's been probably like 6 months, something like that. I think it was our Weird World of LSD episode. So but it's fun, you know. It's, again, it was one of those things where I didn't have anything to do tonight, and, you know, kind of realized what the whole purpose of this show is to begin with. Is, what are we doing if we're just sitting here? Alana's sitting here, I'm sitting here. What do we do with our Friday nights? Well, hey, let's watch a weird horror movie that we've never seen before. And so that's what we got tonight. A movie I haven't seen before, thankfully, because, you know, I've seen a lot of public domain horror movies, but luckily we're at a point in the show now where a lot of them I haven't seen. So tonight's movie, How Awful About Allan, I have not seen before, and this is actually a TV movie from 1970, and it's probably more of a psychological thriller than like a straight up horror movie, but it's got a lot of like horror pedigree, obviously, with the star Anthony Perkins, who, if you are a fan of classic horror, then you would know Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates himself from Psycho and Psycho 2 and Psycho 3 and Psycho 4. And, you know, this iconic character that he created. And it's funny, I just found out, apparently, I haven't seen if this is confirmed or not, but Olivia Hussey, from who was in Psycho 4 with him, although they didn't share any scenes, apparently she just passed away, which RIP, sad and kind of wild, so close to Christmas time, considering that she is in Black Christmas, which I just watched the other day. So kind of sad, kind of you know, weird the way that things connect here. But it's funny. I was like, you know, haven't seen this before, but, you know, I know Anthony Perkins is a good actor. And, you know, hey, a psychological thriller. It's good for, you know, it's always about the past, and, you know, people can't let go of the past, and we're moving into the new year right now. It's all about letting go of the past and moving on to what the new year has to offer, the hopes and the dreams. And so that's, you know, tried to always kind of find a movie to fit with the holidays. So, and I think this movie's set during the winter time. So I think it'll be good for the time of year that we find ourselves at again. And I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. It goes without saying. It can always be an up and down time for people, holidays, but especially Christmas. But I hope everybody's kind of weathered the storm and, done your traveling. Or maybe you're still out on the road. Maybe you haven't gotten home yet. And so, hopefully everybody's being safe out there and they've gotten to spend time with their loved ones and hopefully, can celebrate a little bit more with New Year's coming up. Of course, that's the big kind of. It's funny because there's not really like a lot of New Year's horror movies. I like have my Christmas horror movies already, like always picked out, set aside. I know I'm going to watch this one and this one and this one. But New Year's is not really like that. If you followed this show, we've really had kind of, I guess, one New Year's episode, which was when we watched The Phantom Carriage, which is a fantasy film that takes place on New Year's. So that's about as close as we've gotten here. Last year, I believe we watched, what was it, Encounter with the Unknown, which was narrated by Rod Serling. And if you're familiar with the Twilight Zone New Year's marathon, then that was my connection point last year. Like, it's not a New Year's movie, but we'll take the Rod Serling connection as a New Year's bona fide. But in this case, we're getting a little looser here. Not much of a New Year's connection. But again, like I said, psychological thriller. And there's a little something to be said with the themes there of the past and being able to move on from the past. So we'll see. It should be interesting. And like I said, interesting horror pedigree. There's also the writer of tonight's film, Henry Farrell, best known for Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, which was the trailer that led us out of our pre-roll. Obviously iconic thriller from 1962, which kind of gave him a reputation as a master thriller writer. And so there were a lot of movies that followed in the wake of Baby Jane, some that were written by Henry Farrell, some not. And this is one that, he also wrote the teleplay for, but it's based on a novel that he wrote. But, he was a pretty big name. Perkins, he was a pretty big name, but his career was in an interesting place at this time. But we'll talk about that tonight. We'll talk about the director tonight, Curtis Harrington, a very interesting filmmaker, with just kind of an interesting backstory. So a lot of, fun little connections to end off the year 2024. And, I think it'll be good. And this is usually the point in the show where I turn it over to my good friend Evan to tell us about the what we're gonna be drinking tonight. But of course, Evan's not here, and I'm not gonna try to do the segment without him. It's his segment. He comes up with the cocktails. So out of respect, I'm just gonna be drinking all my Michelobes tonight. No cocktail, unfortunately, but I figured before we hop in this into this movie tonight, take a little time just to reflect on the year. 2024. This has kind of been our second into our third year of the Scream Stream. So we've had some milestones this year. Of course, we celebrated episode 100. I guess it was a few months ago now, but that was Spooks Run Wild with Bela Lugosi. Not like a monumental movie for episode 100, but hey, Lugosi's kind of a logical choice to spend episode 100 on. And so that was kind of a big moment for us. I mean, who knew there are even 100 public domain horror movies, right? Yeah, right, Alana. It's every year that goes by, being born in the 1900s, you sound old, and I'm certainly, with every passing year, feeling like an old man, and not the least of which is because I sit here and watch all these old movies. But that certainly doesn't help. No, but we've watched some good ones this year, and I mean, I think that the summer schlock is always kind of a highlight. Always brings some interesting movies into our life. Of course, EGA, that was pretty wild. I what I mean, I think that Halloween, we got some interesting films in Shocktober. The Ghosts of Hanley House, I really enjoyed. That was a really weird film. And our schedule got a little wonky here in the last part of the year. So, I certainly enjoyed Teenagers from Outer Space, which will be coming to YouTube soon. And welcome, Kathy. Kathy's in the house. Welcome to this unscheduled episode, Kathy. Hope you're doing well this evening. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. I didn't post anything. I was not planning on there being an episode tonight, but I wanted to play catch up from an episode that we had missed before Thanksgiving, and wasn't doing anything. So I was like, let's hang out with my friends. Let's do what else I would be doing regardless, which is watching an old movie. So thank you, Kathy, for being here. We're just kind of reflecting on the year 2024, and I would say that I'd love to hear from you guys if there have been any movies that you saw because of the show this year that we were like, oh my god, like this was a revelation. I'm so glad that they showed this movie and I've seen this movie. Because I'd say, like, in terms of hidden gems for me, actually the biggest one came early in the year when we watched Son of Ngagi, which was actually, like in February, I think, as we were going from one season to another. And that movie was just, it was so, like, the thing is, it was made outside of even the poverty row system, like with resources even far below that. And what they got was a movie that really was better than most of the poverty row horror movies that we see on this show. And obviously, just for the historical nature, being the first horror movie with an all-black cast, and that movie, and like just as good as entertaining as it is, I was just like, all right, like, hell yeah, this is why I do this show, so I can find movies that like get me excited, because I'm like, wow, this is really, like, there's a lot here. Alana, I think that's a good one, and that's actually a recent one. That is the episode movie we watched right before tonight's movie. So I would say that that movie definitely made a huge impression on us. We saw how ahead of its time it was, and that German expressionist style, kind of like peaking with the Old Dark House like film so early, because we've seen so many Old Dark House movies that have come after that, and they don't even get close to achieving the atmosphere and the look and everything else that the Cat and the Canary had. So and very good point, Kathy. Let's not forget the serials, the TV shows. It's not just movies that we watch here. The public domain is full of content, and so we've definitely enjoyed. I know Tales of Tomorrow we got into this year, and there was some pretty enjoyable episodes of that. Of course, the what was the last one that we watched, the meta episode. Was trying to remember what the fake title of it was, but that was a great, really great 22 minutes of television. And yeah, and Suspense had some good ones too, Alana, for sure. You know, again, those TV shows from the early 50s that are shot live, you know, I usually keep the bar pretty low, but I'd say both of those shows definitely surprised me with some of their episodes this year. So yeah, between the TV shows and the movies and the serials, I mean, yeah, I mean, in terms of serials, The Whispering Shadow, Evan being on, you know, on the mystery, you know, watching every chapter multiple times, try to solve the mystery, and in the end, what did they do? They pulled the rug out from under us, like we knew that they would. So it's funny. I really, those serials are something else. And I originally I thought about catching up on the serial tonight, because we've only seen like one chapter of that, and there's like 13 chapters. So I got to play catch up on the Great Alaskan Mystery as well. Speaking of mysteries, maybe it'll stay a mystery. No, I've got to get through it. But you know, I was like, let's get caught up on the movies first. Let's make sure I'm staying on schedule on that front. Yes, that's right. Who could forget Suspense and their obsession with shellfish? That was one of the highlights of that show. That and the sponsor Autolite, of course. How could we forget? How could we not, you know, wrap up the year and not pay tribute to Autolite one last time? Yes, and of course our specials, our Friday the 13th specials this year. That was another thing that we really we had a lot of fun with, and we're really thankful for everybody that tuned in and enjoyed those, and you know, just us being silly, goofing around. You know, certainly our first Friday the 13th special, but this most recent one, the Christmas special, that was really that was really ridiculous, and we had a lot of fun with that, and we hope that that brightened up y'all's Christmas. But yeah, and yeah, if you learn nothing else this year, you know, water your battery, and if you're using Autolite, you only need to water it 4 times a year. So I mean, it's no better tip going into the new year than that. And I'd say lastly, just before we like start to move into the movie tonight, just reflecting on the year, I mean, this year has been monumental in terms of our audience. You know, like Kathy, Alana, you know, Sears isn't here, but Sears and Dogstar and why am I forgetting? There's people I'm forgetting, and it's gonna drive me crazy because Wayne. Wayne was one of them I was forgetting. Wayne, of course, Wayne. At JEC. I know there's more. I try to remember everybody, but we just really this was the year that we kind of really got more of a consistent like group of Scream streamers, and we love you guys. Y'all are great. Y'all make it so much fun to do this show. Again, you know, to have an audience to share these facts and observations and jokes and all that. Super Pappy, that's right. Yep. There's a lot of people that, you know, pop in sometimes they're around, sometimes they're not. But even if you don't chat, I mean, everybody that's just watched, you know, we really, it has meant a lot to myself and to Evan. And, you know, we really, we're really excited to see, you know, how we can keep things going and growing in 2025. But so far 2024 has been a really great year for us here on the Scream Stream. We're really happy to have everybody. Kathy, if you haven't seen that before, I love that movie. I hope you liked it, because I absolutely love Ed Wood, and I saw it for the first time when I was very young, probably too young to see it, but I loved it even then. So if you haven't seen it before, I hope, and I hope that's what when you say the Ed Wood movie, I think that's what you're referring to, the movie Ed Wood. It's one of those that, I hate to say that it inspired me to be a filmmaker because it's, kind of a lot about like optimism in the face of failure. But I mean, it did. I mean, it really, it's one of those things. The enthusiasm is kind of like what shines through about that movie and about Ed Wood. The fact that he just could, find a way to do what he wanted to do when the odds were very much against him. Yeah, that's a movie I haven't seen in a while, so I'm definitely due for a rewatch. But yeah, I mean, I would say that it's been a pretty solid 2024 on the Scream Stream. So we're gonna finish off 2024 with the final film of the year. How Awful About Allan, which again we'll get into all the people behind the movie tonight. Director Curtis Harrington, the star Anthony Perkins. We'll kind of talk about where these guys were in their career and some of the other interesting names that are involved. You may recognize some familiar faces here, but I think this will be, again, it's a TV movie. It's actually an ABC movie of the week, which we've had one of those before when we saw Moon of the Wolf, which was, I believe, 2 or 3 years after tonight's movie. And Moon of the Wolf was, it was more a through and through horror movie because there was indeed a werewolf. I don't think there's anything supernatural. I'm pretty sure this is a straight psychological thriller. Which, I mean, hey, I'm all down for. Again, ABC movie of the week. They explored all different kinds of genres, and they were a little tame. There's not gonna be any blood or gore, but I'm interested to see what they will do here. And again, tonight's movie premiered September 22nd, 1970. And it kicked off the second season of the ABC movie of the week, which I believe went on for about 5 years. It's kind of wild, just cranking out a movie every week. So we'll see how this stacks up. And I haven't seen too many movies of the week, but maybe some of you out there have. I'm excited for this one. So I think without further ado, and of course, if we were to get interrupted on YouTube, I think we'll be all right. But if we were, let me know. You can never be too careful, but we should be fine. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of How Awful About Allan right now. Whoa, there he is right away. Boom. Ah, whoa. Jesus. Kathy, I think you're right about that. Oh my God.
Professor Colley's house. Colley, hurry!
Yeah, Alana, don't you love it? They've only got a 90-minute time slot. They can't build the atmosphere.
Mr. Allen, are you all right?
Father's dead. Olive, it's my fault.
Come with me. Where is Catherine? Alan. Alan, are you all right?
Well, he was in a fire.
Olive, I can't see. I can't see. I'm blind.
All right. I can't see. I can't see. So that is, I didn't say anything about the plot. All I said was that it was a psychological thriller, but obviously it's about a character who experiences psychosomatic blindness. And apparently Anthony Perkins paid out of his own pocket to have contact lenses made for him to wear on set so that he could not see. So that he could actually be blind and had to be led to the set. But he paid for that out of his own pocket. That was not something that production. These were TV movies were very low budget. Very fast turnaround usually. And of course, E.P. Aaron Spelling, one of the big TV producers of the 70s and the 80s and the 90s.
You know the story, Alan. By heart. There is nothing organically wrong with my eyes. The blindness is all in my head.
I just wanted to re-emphasize that before you leave us. Now, you know the fire was accidental. You didn't leave the paint cans and thinner next to the heater deliberately that night. You've recognized your resentment of your father and his close relationship with your sister, which accounts for your partial recovery. A full recovery depends on conquering your guilt feelings about your father's death, your sister's disfigurement. Perhaps this return home will help. I hope so.
I've been here for 8 months now.
Here, just in case. Oh, it's the name of a colleague in your town, Dr. Herbert Greeno. I'll forward him a copy of your history. And try using a tape recorder. Verbalize the small problems. Listen to your own words. It may help more than you think. Well, good luck, Alan. Yes? Oh, yes,
And
very
then he
good.
just leaves him in
Just
there.
leaving. Your sister's waiting for you. Right on time.
Someday, somewhere, Catherine will be late and the world will shatter.
You're still tense about seeing her.
It's not your ordinary family reunion.
She doesn't blame you for her disfigurement.
Scar is there.
But
Noah's in the house.
plastic
Welcome,
device she
Noah.
wears
Hope you're
is
doing
very
well this
successful.
evening.
It's barely noticeable. You mustn't make it worse than it really is.
The doctor's the one. Hey, don't make it such a big deal. Calm down. It's definitely what you want to hear from your
You're the one
doctor.
getting out today.
Yes, that's right.
Scared. I can smell it on your plane. You'll be back. Oh, yes, you will. Look at you run. You'll be back all right. Soon.
So that actress is actually the wife of the writer Henry Farrell. She only appeared in like a handful of movies. That's what this is.
It feels better than the state hospital. What wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how you can see the Psycho parallels, like, kind of pretty quick. Psychologically disturbed young man, parent dies. Spending time in a mental institution. They haven't gotten the house fixed up at all.
What's that?
Oh, it's a stick. The kids must have left it.
He's fine, dear. Olive, why don't you wait and come back tomorrow?
Okay, fine, sure. Bye. Say hello for me.
Damn, rejected.
She's hurt, Alan. You were nearly engaged.
I don't want to see anyone for a while.
I'm sorry the house is so cold.
I know I shouldn't make jokes about his blindness, but I did kind of. He's just kind of setting him up. I don't want to see anyone. Well, you can't see anyone. Oh, nice, Alana. That's a good way to spend Christmas. That's the way to, I'm gonna need to get into that tradition.
It's been boarded over.
How is Olive?
Oh, well enough. She's alone now since her mother died. She does research for Professor Schiller. She, just to keep busy. She works at home. Oh, you asked about your tape recorder. It's right where you left it. Well, I'll go change and start dinner, okay?
You're standing there, worrying about me being here. It's true, blindness does make you more sensitive to things. I can take care of myself. Catherine, all these months I've been waiting to tell you how sorry I am.
Well, I'm making something festive for dinner. For homecoming.
Nice
Call up when
segue.
it's ready.
I mean, dinner's the best excuse. Yeah, I gotta go make dinner. I just gotta pop out during the middle of this awkward conversation. Yeah, Noah, such is the curse of Anthony Perkins. It's just kind of hard to escape that iconic of a character, you know?
There used to be a lamp over there.
I've changed things around. Were you looking for something?
No, just trying to get the feel of the house again, I suppose.
but dinner's nearly ready.
I don't remember that.
It's Father's desk. I'm storing his things here for the foundation. The Raymond Colley Foundation. We're raising money for a memorial wing in the new library.
Your labors in his behalf are never done, are they?
Tension.
This is Mother.
Yes.
Oh, he said it. Mother.
And, who's this?
Oh, that's Eric. I don't know why I keep it. I haven't heard from him in months. He went to Australia just after the fire. To make his fortune, he said. I suppose he married someone over there.
Well, I guess it's safe to say it then. I never really did like him much.
I know.
Ah, Sears is in the house. Welcome, Sears. Belated Merry Christmas to you as well.
I'm going to be all right here. I just want to be by myself for a while.
Oh, okay. Eerie. I do love the interior of this house. Like,
good morning.
Just an old school farmhouse.
What are you doing?
Good morning. Well, I'll tell you all about it at breakfast. You go
I
ahead
don't know.
and
Maybe
wash.
it's not a farm. I don't know what
Don't
kind
be
of house
long.
we call
I
it.
have to be at work
Colonial?
early
I don't-
today. I've been renting to students ever since you left, so we could keep the house. My salary at the university. Well, you know what that is. I know your first day home having someone come. I'd have arranged it differently if I could.
This boy, what's he like?
Well, he's new this semester. His name is Harold Dennis. And he's quiet, really quiet. He's had some sort of injury to his throat. He barely speaks above a whisper.
Then we'll have our afflictions in common, won't we?
He's going to be here during the lunch hour. I can come home so you won't have to be alone with him.
No, no. He sounds harmless. I'll be all right.
I'm going to be late.
Perhaps my apprehensions are unfounded. What do I care how he looks at me or what he thinks of me? This student. This is a house. It's not a courtroom. I'm not on trial here.
Giant tape recorder. Those were the days. And by those were the days, I mean those were the technologically very difficult days. Yeah, no, I would say it's definitely reminiscent of a great grandma house, for sure. For sure.
I came about the room.
It's upstairs. First door on the left.
Oh yeah, Sears. I believe that's Julie Harris, who was in East of Eden, and also The Haunting, the original Haunting, of course, not the '90s version with Liam Neeson.
I'm sorry. I thought I'd be back in the front hall.
It's that way.
Thank you very much.
This character, man. Creepy.
What do you want now?
It's me, Alan. I decided to come back after all. I'm sorry I didn't get back soon enough. But he's going to take it. I ran into him outside, and he's going to take it. He even gave me the first month's rent. Where's that draft coming from? There's something open.
Ooh.
Will it bother you so much having him here?
Well, I do wish
Wish what?
that we could wait just a little bit. It's difficult with strangers. I thought it would be just us. I'm going up.
He won't be in the house that much. He has a job in the cafeteria and his classes. He'll only be here to sleep.
I'll be all right.
Jeez Louise. Not even gonna clean up his own dishes?
Yes. What? Oh, yes, of course. How are you? What? Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, I know. What? Oh, yes, of course I will. No, it won't upset things that much. What? Yes, I will.
Ooh, that's a good shot.
Yes. Goodbye.
Is anything wrong?
No. No, it was Harold Dennis. He wants to move in tomorrow instead of Saturday. I said he could.
You sounded upset.
Weird intrigue. Mm-hmm.
Why, it's just me, Olive. Did I make you do that? I should have phoned first. Why, Catherine gave me a key, you know, to keep an eye on things over here. Didn't she tell you?
No.
Of course she did.
Well, I made a welcome home present for you. Look, it's a coffee cake right out of the oven. I hope it's still hot.
I can smell it. It smells good.
Well, just mix some then, and we can have a cup of coffee.
Actually, I've just had breakfast, Olive.
Oh, jeez.
Well, then I'll just leave it right there until later.
Thank you. Olive, thank you very much.
If you want someone to do things for you, I'd be glad to type up your lecture notes for you.
I'm not lecturing just now. I'm blind, remember?
Does everybody work at the college?
Perhaps you'd like me to drive you somewhere.
No, I don't think so.
All right. If you change your mind, though, I'm home almost all the time. Maybe I should wash the dishes.
Oh, I can do them. Actually, it's very good for me to do things.
Oh, all right. But if you need anything, you call me, okay?
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
That's right, Sears. Can't have anybody trounce around that fruit cellar.
Come in.
Anything you want before I go to bed?
No, thank you.
You remember our roomer will be arriving. Don't be alarmed if you hear him.
And that is gonna take us to our first break. So that was the first third of How Awful About Allan. And so far, they're building the mystery. They're building a lot of tension, right? Obviously, I guess you have this kind of central mystery at hand. What is really behind Alan's blindness? Obviously, he's been traumatized with seeing his father burn alive, but is there something more to it? And then obviously he comes back, his relationship with his sister, there's a lot of tension there. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how that plays out. Yeah, you're right. He could end up putting her in the fruit cellar. If he has a break. Yeah, it's interesting. So far he's remained pretty sympathetic, yes, he's indirectly responsible for killing his father. So it's not like a full-on Norman Bates situation where he just had this complex and killed his mother and made it look like an accident or a suicide. Yeah, I don't think Alan's quite as devious as Norman. So maybe a little bit of a more sympathetic character for Anthony Perkins to play here, which I'm sure he liked. Because, obviously, most actors that get typecast in a horror role, it takes a while for them to fully embrace that. I think, obviously, that kind of changed in the 80s and the 90s as you got these kind of characters that were a little more commercial, and I think the actors realized the benefit behind having this character that you could play for 4, 5, 6, 7 movies. Although, very few actors have actually gotten the chance to, kind of be the main monster of their own franchise. But, obviously, a lot of horror actors kind of end up like that. I mean, we talk all the time about Lugosi and Dracula and Karloff and Frankenstein. And so, I mean, those guys obviously hope to kind of break out of their typecasting. And it was a thing they had to kind of come to terms with later in their careers. And I think that it was kind of the same for Anthony Perkins. He really tried to resist the typecasting. And it was funny because resisting the typecasting that resulted from playing Norman Bates kind of went hand in hand with his own personal turmoil with the studio that he was under contract with at the time, Paramount. Because he was one of the last matinee idols of the 50s, which was, the studios would take some Midwest guy who, fresh into Hollywood, turn him into a big star overnight, put him, in a bunch of movies and have him record songs and put him in the magazines. And, it was a whole kind of system in the 50s that the studios kind of, I guess, struggled, as they were struggling to maintain their contract system. That was kind of one of the last vestiges was them to kind of make these matinee idols and these ingenues and kind of take these people from nothing and suddenly overnight turn them into stars. So but Perkins was he was different because he was homosexual and kind of, at least early in his career, a little more freely open about it than it was acceptable to be at Hollywood at that time. So his studio bosses really kind of pressured him to maintain a heterosexual image, and that was always at odds in his early career. So Psycho comes along and kind of totally shakes things up, but it also provides him an opportunity to say, you know what, I don't want to be in this system. I don't want to do this kind of stuff. So he gets out, buys his own contract from Paramount, buys himself out of his contract, which was a thing that I guess had become kind of common at that point. And even his ex-boyfriend by that point, Tab Hunter, had bought himself out of his contract because he was tired of kind of playing the studio games. So Perkins decided after buying out his contract, I'm just going to Europe and I want to make movies in Europe, which is it's funny. It's not like that wasn't an unproven thing. Orson Welles, who Perkins would go on to work with overseas, kind of showed that you could leave Hollywood behind and find success in European films. And so there were a lot of people that were starting to do that around the 60s, but Perkins was one of those people. So he left the United States and was gone for about 8 years. It was 8 years before he made another Hollywood movie after Psycho. So from Psycho in 1960 to 1968, he just kind of exclusively worked in Europe and the theater. I think in the United States, he still worked in the theater, but it wasn't until 68 with a movie called Pretty Poison, which is the first trailer that we'll see for our break, that he came back to Hollywood. And he still couldn't shake that image of playing the young, troubled boy next door with psychological problems. You'll see in the Pretty Poison trailer, that's what the kind of character he ends up playing. So he was kind of getting back into Hollywood by the time that he got to this movie, which was 10 years after Psycho. And he, I don't know how he got involved with the movie, but certainly, I think that he probably knew the director Curtis Harrington to some degree, because Curtis Harrington was kind of like in this school of people who started out as a film student and then became a film critic and then became a filmmaker, kind of like Peter Bogdanovich. And Curtis Harrington got more into like avant-garde and experimental filmmaking in the 50s, and kind of made a name for himself in that realm, and then moved to his first attempt at feature film directing with a movie called Night Tide from 1961, which it's kind of a horror film, but it's a little more experimental. I actually haven't seen it, and it's public domain, so we will get to watch it on this show, which I'm very excited for. But I have not seen Night Tide. But that was a movie that was picked up by Roger Corman. So Curtis Harrington, the director of tonight's film, kind of got his feature film start with Corman. First, when Corman picked up that film, but then Corman had Harrington direct two science fiction films using footage from some Soviet sci-fi movies that he had bought. And one of those movies is entitled Queen of Blood from 1966 with Basil Rathbone. And we talked about Queen of Blood on here before when we watched Night of the Blood Beast, which was one of many sci-fi films that went on to inspire Alien. And Queen of Blood was one of those films that a few of the plot elements really seem similar to what would appear later on in Alien. So Harrington kind of had a knack for kind of like making very like atmospheric, very moody kind of films with kind of, really like well-developed characters and a lot of drama. And he, after those two films with Corman, kind of got a chance to move to the studio realm with a movie called Games from 1967, which is the second trailer we're going to see during our break. And Games is like I guess a psychological thriller. You're noticing a pattern here with his work. And it's got James Caan in it and Catherine Ross. And I haven't seen Games, but apparently it's kind of a play on Diabolique. I haven't seen it, but it was also produced by the producer of tonight's TV movie, George Edwards, who produced I think 7 of Curtis Harrington's films. They obviously kind of had established a little bit of a style, and Curtis Harrington was making a name for himself around the same time that Perkins was coming back to Hollywood. And I think that Harrington kind of ran in the same circle as Orson Welles, and I think Perkins and Welles had kind of formed a friendship after working together in Europe. So I think through those connections, they kind of got got together to make this film. But we'll talk more about both of these guys later, in their later careers. Curtis Harrington's a very interesting guy, and obviously when we watch Night Tide, we'll get to talk more about him and some of the more interesting things in his career, like being involved in magic and thelema and all that stuff. So yeah, very, very interesting guy. But we'll talk more about Curtis Harrington and Anthony Perkins But we're going to get these trailers for films of theirs, Pretty Poison and Games. And then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting middle of How Awful About Allan. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Games. The games of life. The games people play. All kinds. For all reasons. This young couple, what lay behind their exotic, bizarre, macabre games?
You, really want a stranger in the house?
The stranger among them, Simone Signoret. Could she play their games? Did she have a game of her own?
Speak. Speak.
In the games these people play, to lose is to die.
You take care of the gun, and I'll take care of the body.
Simone Signoret, James Caan, Catherine Ross. These are games you play in the shadowy areas of the macabre, where perversity is wed to pleasure. The games of identity. The games of temptation.
They got some kind of orgy going on up there, Miss Smedley?
The games of infidelity. The games of death. The picture that delves into the uncanny, where the normal is not, and the bizarre is.
Did you ever meet two kids like Dennis and Sue Ann? We think not. They're quite a pair in Pretty Poison. Dear Dennis, he's clean-cut, the outdoor type, hard-working. But there are a few things about Dennis most people don't know.
You mean all the things in the letter were true?
What?
What, setting fire to your aunt's house and burning her up alive?
And then there's Sweet Sue Ann. What an all-American doll. High school sweetheart, honor student, but...
How long is it going to take?
Not long. You'll know.
The moon is acting very funny.
You go to your room.
Make me.
Don't say a word. That's perfectly natural. We're under surveillance.
Anthony Perkins is Dennis.
All right. Come down. You're afraid I'll run away? I'll blow up cities. I'll rape and burn and destroy property. And
These are laws. Laws must be abided.
give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks to keep my nose clean. Dennis! Look, we're talking about my life, Mr. Asnow. We're talking about my one and only life.
Tuesday Weld as Sue Ann.
Let's continue, huh?
Pretty Poison.
I hit him twice. You see, he started to go down, and then I bopped him on the side of the head.
What a week. I met you on Monday. Fell in love with you on Tuesday. Wednesday, I was unfaithful. Thursday, we killed a guy together. How about that for a crazy week, Sue Ann?
Dennis, make love to me. Make love to me.
Sue Ann, listen.
Hey, Dennis, when do we do something exciting?
And we are back. So that was the trailers for Games and Pretty Poison. And, you know, those movies, both seeing those trailers now, they look like a product of their time. Certainly the Pretty Poison trailer and the music and it's kind of a little cheesy. But you know, still, I mean, you know, it gives you a sense of kind of where like Perkins' career was at the time, and you know, for kind of the things that Harrington did. Like Kathy said, very Twilight Zone feel. I think a lot of Harrington's work kind of gets compared to Twilight Zone, and you know, I mean, again, I mean, he was just kind of a very he was a cinephile, but also like a horror movie fan. He's actually Curtis Harrington is the person responsible for making sure that the Old Dark House from James Whale didn't become a lost film, because it was almost lost forever. But Curtis Harrington was able to get a print made and preserved. So, and he also knew James Whale, I guess in the early 50s, when James Whale had kind of ended his career and before I think Curtis Harrington got into like filmmaking. So, you know, Harrington was a very interesting person and a big fan of the Universal horror movies. And, I think also the Val Lewton psychological horror films from RKO in the 1940s, he was a big fan of. Cat People, obviously, is a big one. And I don't think we've seen a full glimpse of him yet, but the actor playing the father of Perkins' character, Allan, is an actor by the name of Kent Smith, who is the male lead in Cat People and Curse of the Cat People, which if hopefully you had that on your Christmas watch list. Curse of the Cat People, that's one of my like absolute must watch during the month of December, and rest assured I did watch it. But Curtis Harrington, I think, cast Kent Smith in this and some other projects because of a fondness for Cat People and those early films. And so I think he takes a lot of kind of the psychological horror elements from those earlier horror films and brings them into what we're seeing tonight. And I think that this actually was Curtis Harrington's first of 5 television movies he did total in his career, one of which was entitled The Cat Creature, and was kind of the plot was different from Cat People, but it was meant to be a kind of a homage, and also featured Kent Smith. And he did what was it? He did some other interesting TV movies. He did the Devil Dog from Hell or something like that. Was the last one he did. Apparently didn't turn out very well. I believe I've shown a promo for that. We watched some other TV movie. It might have been when we watched Snow Beast. I'm not sure. But that was the last TV movie that he did. But this is the first one, and so far, so far it's interesting. And you know, again, Perkins is bringing bringing a committed touch to wear special contact lenses where he can't see. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out over the second third of the movie, as more of what's truly behind his blindness hopefully comes to light. I'm excited. So we're going to and well, of course we'll talk more about the the later careers of Harrington and Perkins and some of the other people involved in this movie. So it's it's so funny, like, I've always anything else, Evan? But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting middle of How Awful About Allan right now. What? You had to have known what that was.
Allan? What's wrong?
What do you know about him? Anything? He must have brought everything he owns under one arm. What did you tell him about me?
About you? Just that you can't see too well. I didn't elaborate.
He probably knows it all anyway.
Well, I doubt it. He has his own problems. I doubt he'd be interested.
Why did he sneak down the back stairs and scare me the other day? He's quiet, all right. He's too quiet. I don't want him here.
I can't put him out now. He's paid in advance. Well, Allan...
Yes, Alana, we do. I've said Scream streamers before, but I don't know. You maybe can come up with something better. I am open to any suggestions. Ooh, I like that. Here we go. Oh, man. That was good. Maybe that's where I should have taken the break at. The fade to black.
I was washing my hair, or I would have been over sooner. Oh, were you going to make lunch? I'm so glad you called me, Alan. I thought maybe you didn't want to see me anymore. Oh, it's chicken noodle, okay?
Okay. It's not that I didn't want to see you, Olive. It's just, well, it takes time to get adjusted, you know, with everything changed.
Oh, I'm not changed.
Well, I am. I'm blind, and coming back here, living like this, taking in
It's a
rumors
very
as if
nice
we were
house,
destitute,
Sears.
which we
I
are.
love this house.
Have you seen this roomer of ours?
No. No, I haven't.
Try to get a look at him, will you? Talk to him, tell me what he's like.
Why?
I don't like him. There's something wrong about it.
Wrong? Well, what do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know. He wants to trick me into something.
Oh, well, I really... You know, Alan, you haven't been out of this old house since you've come home. And you really should get out and...
No.
Look, Alan, I'm an interested party around here, whether you like it or not. And I'm not going to let you get all closed up inside of yourself, inside of this house. You've got to get out into the world. Show Catherine she's wrong.
Wrong? Wrong about what?
You know, Alan, Catherine has had to make adjustments, too. She was devoted to your father. She really worshipped him.
And slaved for him, and gave up a chance to get married for him.
Yes, well, he was a great man.
Great in his accomplishments. Catherine thinks I should have stayed in the hospital, doesn't she?
She thinks, maybe you came home too soon, but I don't. Let's show her that she's wrong, all right, Alan? I've got to go downtown and get some things. Just ride along with me. Please? You've really got to, you know, you must.
No, it's too soon.
What are you afraid of? Alan, why don't you have, some soup? And, then you can bundle up. It's cold outside, you know, but it's very bright.
Just have some soup. It'll make everything all better. Chicken noodle soup cures everything.
Well, it's hard to believe it was freezing last night.
Yeah, I guess back in the day, hair washing could be like you could make a big to-do about
Just for a
it.
minute,
You
to
know,
return some books.
there wasn't a lot to, you know, make your day about. But hair washing. Who knows? Maybe she's got to put the curlers in and you know, take the curlers out. Whole thing.
You want to come with me? I'll be right back.
You want to see something crazy?
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Alan's behind the wheel. Look out. I wonder if he's got his contact lenses in as he's trying to drive. I mean, I would hope they got a stunt driver for that. That looks like he's really driving. Just stop driving. Oh shit. Alan. Crazy Alan. You know Alan, man. Classic Alan.
Don't crowd around, please. May I get through, Alan? Alan, are you all right?
That was a wild ride. Whoa. What? What the fuck? That was weird as shit. I loved it. What even just happened there?
Wouldn't it be better if you told me what happened? Wouldn't you feel better?
It was him. He saw me in the car.
Who? Harold Dennis?
He called me by name. Olive told me you said I shouldn't have come home.
Alan, I'm not going to listen to any childish recrimination. I haven't... I'm sorry, but my nerves got a little worn too, you know. Look, maybe we should talk to that doctor here in town, Dr. Greeno. It can't do any harm to talk to someone professional.
Someone who could send me back to the hospital?
Alan, I'm trying to be calm about this, and I warn you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll clean it up.
It's winter time, so you know they're eating a whole lot of soup.
I bought you a new Beethoven. It's a peace offering, Alan. Would you forgive me for yesterday? I was stupid to insist.
A new Beethoven?
What going through.
What is this, 1970? What do you mean a new Beethoven?
It was my fault. Don't blame yourself. May I join you for coffee?
Sure.
I wonder, has Catherine seen Eric Walters yet?
Eric's in Australia.
Alana, that sounds like a sick, like, rap. Like, that sounds like some shit Hetty would throw down.
He's looking for work. Oh, Catherine must have seen him.
No. Well, Wait a minute. There was a call. Catherine said it was the rumor, but it wasn't. And she sounded upset. And the next day, he moved in. You haven't seen our mysterious guest yet, have you? He leaves before daybreak, returns after dark. You'd think he didn't want to be seen, wouldn't you?
What are you talking about?
Screamsicles, love it. Oh, take it easy, Noah. Yes, thanks for hanging out. Definitely catch the rest later when you got time, but we appreciate you hanging out with us. Last episode of 2024, so we see you in 2025. Take it easy, Noah.
Just for the record, in case anybody thinks I'm only imagining things, I believe there is no Harold Dennis, no student rumor. I believe that Eric Walters is living here pretending to be Harold Dennis. And just in case, I think Eric wants to do me harm. This house and this property are valuable.
What?
And they're half mine.
Hey, you can't come back until next year, which coincidentally is 4 days from now.
Who is it? Who's down there?
Alan, what's wrong?
Nothing.
How about Alan's sweater? Come on, can we like get some fashion props for that?
This, Harold Dennis. What department did you say he was majoring in?
I think he said biology.
I imagine he looks like Eric.
Eric? Why should you think that?
Well, he's blonde, you said, like Eric. Why didn't you tell me that Eric's back in town?
He's not.
Olive must be seeing things again.
Olive saw Eric when?
Yesterday, just for a moment. You mean he hasn't gotten in touch with you? Huh? That's hard to believe. This, Harold Dennis, doesn't he mind living in the same house with a crazy, blind man? Especially after yesterday's incident on campus.
I doubt he knows of it.
Maybe I should have a little talk with him. Try to get to know him.
Sweater vest, that's right. See, I couldn't think what that was called, and of course it's sweater vest. What am I thinking? Ooh, I like this. What is it? Oh. Oh. Whoa. You gotta love the stock Castle Thunder. See, Alana, that's great. I love that. Yeah, I mean, hey, you have skills. You have an elite set of skills.
Alan? Alan, are you awake? Alan? Why is the door locked?
Because I locked it.
I have to go. Everything's ready for breakfast. You can manage by yourself, all right?
I manage best that way.
I'll see you this evening.
For the record, he tried to pull me down the stairs last night. It would have looked like an accident. But I need proof.
Oh, look out! Oh!
I'll go get Olive.
Crazy man's cutting himself. Ah, blood!
Olive, I need proof that he's trying to hurt me. Sometimes it takes a lie to get people to see the truth. He tried to pull me down those stairs last night. He did. I'm not trying to kill myself.
Look, Alan, Eric is not staying in this house. Catherine would have told me. I would have seen him. There's nobody here but that student.
You mean you would have seen Eric, but you haven't seen the student? Isn't that unlikely? Why won't you believe me? Olive, this student, he keeps his door locked and looks after his room himself. He's hiding something there. He's got to be. Olive, there's a spare key in Catherine's room, in the chest. Go get it. Olive, you've got to help me. You've got to help me prove that I'm right. You said you'd do anything to help me. Remember?
Mm. It does, yeah, Alana, that's a very good point. Any slight, even the slightest psycho comparison is up for a swig of the beer.
Oh, it's one of your father's, Roots of Philosophy. Oh, and it's inscribed. No, it isn't. It's just a signature.
I was wondering what his kind of professor his father was. So he was just a philosopher.
Harold Dennis. That's all it says, Harold Dennis.
Harold Dennis.
I believe there is no Harold Dennis, no student room. I believe that Eric Walters returned to be.
Freezing tonight. I thought you sounded a little stuffy at dinner. Don't want you coming down with the flu. Here, take this.
She poisoned it. She poisoned it. She poisoned it.
You're going to tell me about your hand.
Hasn't Olive told you about it already?
Shouldn't she? Alan.
I know. I'm always creating my...
Yeah, Sears, that last outfit
that now, and I'm going to
definitely
stop. I'm going to
screamed
get back to my
Norman
music.
Bates for
Alan,
sure.
I called Dr. Greeno. Well, there was the accident, and now this. I felt I had to. It does rather fall to me. I didn't want to.
Catherine, I didn't force you to go into that room that night. I tried to stop you. If your face got burned...
When did I ever blame you?
Why didn't you want me to get out of the hospital? Why are you so anxious to get me back?
I'm anxious for you to get well, and you're not getting well here in this house. Look, at least talk to Dr. Greeno. If he says you should go back...
I'd rather go to hell.
Don't be melodramatic. I can't be here to look after you. And plainly, you can't look after yourself.
You're right, Catherine. You're always right. I can't stay here. That's clear.
Then you see Dr. Greeno? We can talk about it in the morning. All right?
All right.
Oh, Alan. What awful thing are you about to get into this time? My hobby is stuffing things. What? Dubs TF? That was really confusing. But that is gonna take us to our second break. Well, we're 2/3 of the way through How Awful About Allan, and so far, there's nothing too awful about this TV movie. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying it. I was kind of, again, a TV movie, you have to kind of temper your expectations, but that middle chunk of the movie had a lot of great sequences, which really, again, it's not a horror movie. Like, it's very much a psychological thriller, but even that is amping up the tension. Like, these great sequences where it's amping up the tension, and because especially this character's point of view is so obscured, the way that they leverage that in moments where he's just alone and he doesn't know who's in front of him or who's just come around the corner. I mean, they're getting some really powerful scenes out of it. They're also getting some a little more ridiculous moments, like Alan driving the car through the street. I mean, it made for a big action moment relatively for a TV movie, but it was still a little hilarious. Yeah. But again, I mean, that's it just adds to it, right? That's what makes a movie like this enjoyable. And again, a TV movie especially, it's not something that we get very often on this show. So anytime where it's like, oh, okay, it's keeping our attention, it's got funny things going on, it's like, all right, it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm interested, Alana, to see if we're going to get like more psychosimilarities. Is there going to be an embalmed parent in the mix? Is that the deal with the father? What's the deal with that? I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'd say so far, story wise, it's been pretty. It's kept me engaged. So I definitely have to give Henry Farrell props for that. And again, it's not it's relying just very much on tension and atmosphere. Like, I think Harrington, the director, obviously has a knack for kind of creating an atmosphere. Which, I mean, even there in the third act, we really only had in the second act, we really had like 3 main characters who the action is centered around, and they're really, there's a lot of kind of like intrigue and kind of building tension there that is really working. And I mean, I think that's something to be said for the writer, but also the director, because it's kind of a hallmark of his films is characters that are kind of like, even if there is more of an explicit horror element in the supernatural realm, there's still a lot of the like horror goes back to the turmoil of the characters and their personal lives. So, I mean, I think that we're obviously seeing that here, but Harrington had a knack for that, and it's funny, I guess he just was kind of drawn to Farrell's writing and these kind of stories because they would go on to collaborate the year after this film. Director Curtis Harrington and the writer Henry Farrell did a 1971 film entitled What's the Matter with Helen, which starred Shelley Winters and Debbie Reynolds. And it was based on just a very short, maybe not even a short story. It might have been a treatment from Farrell. And it was about like these dance school instructors, and the one played by Shelley Winters is experiencing a nervous breakdown. So I have not seen that film. I've seen a bits and pieces of another film that Harrington did with Shelley Winters entitled Whoever Slew Auntie Roo. Ridiculous title to say. He did not like that title, I read today. But the first trailer that we're going to see is for What's the Matter with Helen, which is another collaboration between the writer and director of tonight's TV movie. Also the same producer, George Edwards. He also produced What's the Matter with Helen. And so apparently Debbie Reynolds had a big hand in also producing that as well. But it's like a period piece set in the 1930s, and it's again, a lot of like it's funny because Harrington kind of comes from that school of people who really believed in the auteur theory, which is the idea that the director is the author of the film and his voice stands out over every decision, every aspect of the film can basically be attributed to the director. And so someone like Hitchcock, Orson Welles, those were the kind of directors that were kind of held as exemplaries of the auteur theory. And I think that Harrington was a big fan of both of those directors. And so I think he has his calling cards, which that film certainly exemplifies. Tonight's film, again, not being he did a lot of period pieces in some of his other TV films. He did one entitled The Dead Don't Die, which is a more recent movie, completely different. But he did a TV movie under that title in 1975, which was kind of a noir zombie TV movie. So, period pieces were kind of his thing. So that's What's the Matter with Helen. And in terms of Anthony Perkins after this film, he dabbled in writing very briefly. He's got one screenwriting credit to his name, which is a 1973 film, so 3 years after tonight's film, entitled The Last of Sheila, which is a murder mystery that he co-wrote with Stephen Sondheim, who obviously more known for his musicals. This is a non-musical, completely scripted for film mystery movie with a pretty stacked cast. And it also features the actress who's playing Olive tonight, Joan Hackett. She plays a prominent role in The Last of Sheila. So that's kind of an interesting connection. I don't know if Perkins had some hand in her being cast in that film. I'm sure that, if they developed a friendship, it probably helped going into The Last of Sheila. that's the second trailer we're going to see during the break, is The Last of Sheila. And, you know, again, obviously it was kind of at a time where Perkins was like, he was very good friends with Stephen Sondheim. I don't think they were ever in a relationship, but he, around the time of tonight's film, was coming out of a relationship with a dancer named Grover Dale, and was trying to kind of, like, basically ended up venturing into conversion therapy. And that kind of like set the rest of his career like up. And so we'll talk about that after the break. We'll talk about kind of the rest of Anthony Perkins' career and Curtis Harrington. And then we'll get into the exciting conclusion of How Awful About Allan. So stick around. We will be right back.
So you met someone, and now you know how it feels.
Somebody cut me. Somebody out there cut me.
Goody, goody.
I wanted to see you bleed. I wanted to be sure you can. You'll bleed all right. So will the other one.
Debbie Reynolds is Adele. Shelley Winters is Helen. What's the matter with Helen?
Something the matter? You okay, Helen? Helen?
Animal crackers in my soup. Monkeys and rabbits loop the loop.
Tell that man's dangerous. He may be just a harmless crank.
Got so deep, but I have fun.
What's the matter? What kind of a screwball would do such a thing? Why pick on me?
Let's not be bothering the lady.
Are you scared that... Yes, of course I am. I'm scared as hell.
I'm so sorry. I always seem to frighten you, don't I?
Surprise entrances are one thing, Mr. Starr. Snooping is another.
How right you are.
Adele, please don't turn on the light.
Helen,
Yes,
do you wish me well?
of course I do, dear.
Some people who call themselves well-wishers do crazy things.
One cannot be too careful.
What's the matter with Helen? What's the matter with Helen?
Sheila, come on back. Now, where the hell are you going?
That was the last of Sheila. That was what they thought anyway. Until they started playing Sheila's game. Tom thought he could beat the game.
Don't touch.
Christine played for the prize.
Get me a glass of water and a couple of
Clinton was the master of the game.
I call it the Sheila Green Memorial Gossip Game.
Lee played because she had to.
You think we'll ever hear the last of Sheila? Tommy, let's just make this movie and put the money in mutual bonds and go home.
Philip knew too much about the game.
Maybe Clinton broke the grill, nobody else was there. And I'm just puttering my way through the debris of my rusty imagination. Tom, where's the ice pick?
What?
I said, where's the bloody ice pick?
Anthony thought you played for fun.
I think it's the moment. My moment. Time for my fear.
Alice knew the game was for keeps.
Not here, for God's sake. But Everybody's walking around. Listen, I want to see you tonight. I'd like to talk to you. It's about this game. I know we said we'd be careful, but I don't think anybody will be on the top deck.
What's the game?
Well, the idea is to discover everybody's secret. Without peeking, of course, and to prevent the other players from discovering yours.
And how would you do that?
Well, every day we'll park in a different port where you can discover the proof of one person's secret. I'll announce what secret it is to look for and give you a clue, which will tell you what to do and where to go on shore. Now, if you solve the clue properly, it'll lead you to where the proof is.
Any number can play.
All right, now squeeze in closer.
Any number can die.
Squeeze in closer, you'll be out of the picture. And I don't mean this one.
And we are back. So that was the trailers for What's the Matter with Helen and The Last of Sheila. And yeah, Alana, you said it. It is a little diversion into the queer history of Hollywood. Again, still a time where it wasn't like necessarily like openly talked about, at least in Perkins' case. I think Curtis Harrington was probably fairly open about his sexuality. It was probably easier for a director to be that way, and obviously James Whale, that goes without saying. But Anthony Perkins was like kind of a different story, and like I said, he ventured into conversion therapy around the time of The Last of Sheila, and ended up getting married and having 2 kids, one of whom it went on to become a film director and horror movie director in their own right. Osgood Perkins, who had the hit horror hit earlier this year, Longlegs. So it was kind of a thing that Anthony Perkins always struggled with, and it kind of like he had some familial issues of his own. His father was an actor who passed away when he was young, and he had a really like abnormally close relationship with his mother, which that was his words, but also apparently there might have been some abuse by his mother, sexual abuse. So he had a lot of like issues that kind of cross-sectioned with some of the roles that he played in certain ways. And the tension, I think, always showed up in his roles. And, he did end up passing away in 1992 from AIDS-related pneumonia. And it was one of those things that he was married for the rest of his life. And his wife, Barry Berenson, actually passed away in the September 11th attacks. She was on one of the planes. And so it was just kind of his career didn't quite go how, like, as acclaimed of as an actor as he was, his career was just always kind of marked by his own personal struggles. And, obviously going back to the role of Norman Bates in 1983, so 13 years after the movie that we're watching tonight, he finally gave in and said, all right, I'll do Psycho 2. And then I'll do Psycho 3, but I get to direct it. And then, all right, I'll do Psycho 4, but I'm really tired. And, like we said, Psycho 4, R.I.P. Olivia Hussey, maybe. I've not seen that confirmed yet if she actually did pass away. But, again, kind of a sad coincidence watching an Anthony Perkins movie tonight, if that is the case. Not that they shared any scenes together in that movie, but still, the Psycho family mourns a loss. But yeah, I mean, and Psycho 4 is one of those movies that I saw kind of bits and pieces of when I was young. I was like, oh, whoa, this is like a later Psycho? What? I thought it was pretty cool. And so, I sought out Psycho. I'd seen Psycho 2 like a few years after that. Then I like sought out Psycho 3, and I enjoyed Psycho 3. But it's definitely an 80s movie, and Anthony Perkins is the director. I mean, I don't know. I need to revisit that movie again. But yeah, I mean, his career just kind of, it was just kind of marked by some periods of turbulence. So, I mean, again, it led to some interesting performances, and I think tonight's film, again, there's just we've already noticed there's a lot of parallels to obviously his most iconic character, Norman Bates, but I think that happened with a lot of his roles. I think that there were just a lot of similarities to Norman and to other characters that he played in, maybe to himself. I don't know. So it's interesting. Again, this may be one of the few Anthony Perkins movies that we get, so definitely wanted to spend time talking about him tonight. And like I said, Curtis Harrington, the director of this, we'll get to see at least one more of his films, if not more, but we'll get to see Night Tide, which I'm very excited to see. The Night Tide is one that I have been saving because it's got a multiple kind of factors, big name Dennis Hopper, kind of like some other. I don't want to tease it too much because we'll see it eventually. I'll just say I'll probably save it for like a Halloween or a Shocktober or something like that, because it's just one that always like would pop up in public domain collections I would buy, but I still haven't seen it. So it's one of those I've been saving, like waiting to like actually watch it, but I've always kind of had it in the pocket. So it'll be interesting. But yes, well, we're about to get into the exciting conclusion of How Awful About Allan. And I'd say, yeah, it's pretty awful because, Alan's pretty sure that this boarder in the house is like trying to torment him, or maybe could be his sister's BF trying to sneak in and like help her steal the house. Maybe, I don't know. There's some games afoot, and hopefully Alan will allow Olive to help, because she's kind of provided the most help to him so far. She's all he's got. So I don't know that his sister's going to be much help. So we'll see. Sears. Those Black Christmas. I just watched on Christmas. So Christmas Eve. So sad timing. But we'll pour one out for Olivia Hussey. But we got to get into the exciting third act of How Awful About Allan. And in terms of predictions, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, the hat maybe just owes somebody some money. Yeah, Alana, I think that could be a possibility. Who knows? I mean, they're leaving things pretty open so far. So we'll see. So on that note, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of How Awful About Allan right now.
He must have been out there for several hours. The important thing now is rest. I don't think we should try moving him to the hospital in the storm.
So the doctor there is the old guy from He's the old man in the airport in Home Alone, and he's also the old guy in Seinfeld, who Jerry like takes his records, and the records end up being worth money. And actor named Bill Irwin.
Handiwork, I believe. Show me your hands.
What? Why is he wearing a graduation outfit? Oh my God. Well, no wonder he's traumatized. Got an abusive father. So look at this. Now we've got some period stuff. This is trademark Curtis Harrington. Oh. And there's Kent Smith from Cat People. This is so wild. I mean, again, remember, Curtis Harrington was in avant-garde and experimental filmmaking, so those little effects, he knows how to make stuff like that go a long way. Shadows and movement and light. Ooh, nice. Here we go. Winter time. It's winter. Timed it up perfectly. Perfect time of year for this. I don't know if there's any snow where you guys are at. Maybe Kathy.
You're awake. Here.
What?
The pills.
I don't want them. They make me feel so dopey.
They also make you better. I want you well as soon as possible.
Sooner well, sooner away.
Yeah, shower scene. Alan gets shampoo in his eyes and he suddenly can see again. Oh, Kathy's got snow.
Olive will be over shortly.
Wish we had snow.
I'll try to be back early today.
We'd take some of your snow if we could, Kathy. Rain, rain, rain. Yeah, we're supposed to get rain. Well, I guess we've had rain in my neck of the woods today. I think we're supposed to get more tomorrow.
How's our roomer tonight? Didn't you see him? He just came in.
Oh, I missed him. You seem much better tonight.
I was just thinking, when I go back to the hospital, I'm resigned to it. Not reconciled, but resigned. Won't it seem a little odd to the neighbors, the two of you living alone here together?
Perhaps you won't go back and the problem won't arise. Good night. I'm glad you're better.
Yeah, I noticed that too, Sears. I guess it's a different kind of taxidermy, isn't it? Just can't escape from those Norman Bates tropes, can he? Where even is he right now? Oh, his father's burned room. Duh. Duh. Oh, shit. You got out of there in the nick of time, Alan. See, it's like I can never find the fade to blacks because I don't want to like actually scroll through the movie so much that I spoil it for myself. So I don't find it scrubbing through it fast, and it's like,
for Olive to come get your breakfast.
but that's the perfect place for the break.
Last night, did anything happen?
Happen? What do you mean?
I guess I was just riding my nightmares again.
I've got to go.
Yeah, Lana. Especially depending on what you're drinking while you're watching it. If you're drinking something heavier, you may be under the table in the first act of the movie. Is he wearing the shirt from when, the pajama shirt from when his dad died?
State Hospital in Baker, please. To Dr. Robert Ellens in the psychiatric division. Yes, and hurry, please. It's urgent. Hello? Oh, yes, Mrs. Steele? Dr. Ellens' office, please. Hello? Hello. This is Alan Colley. May I speak to the doctor, please? I have to speak to him. It's very urgent. I'm in... Oh, he's not. Oh, well, when do you expect him? Oh, not until then. Well, I could make the trip up there myself. Yes. Yes. Are you sure that he'll be there then? All right, thank you. Yes, goodbye.
Oh, you better hurry, Alan.
Campus cab company, please. Yes, hello. Will you
Is
send
that somebody
a cab
upstairs?
to 988 University Avenue, please?
I'm here.
Where are you? Alan, answer.
Yeah, there's a certain Batesian quality to the ornateness of the furnished house. Alan? Oh, come on, Alan. You can figure it out. You're as blind as some people are without their glasses on. Yeah, serious. He's done it once. He'll do it again. Oh no. Oh, yikes. Oh, the secondhand embarrassment I felt from that.
Alan! I was so frightened. Oh, Alan.
Yes, Alana, I will let him know.
Alan, I would have come
Yeah, the sabbatical. Love that name.
job and I've had this lousy
The student is real. Got nothing to be scared of.
Why, this piece of wood could have been lying there for months.
The room was open. And Eric, why did he lie about leaving town?
Well, he explained he changed his mind.
I'm not imagining this, and I'm not dreaming. Olive, you're the only person I have to trust. You've got to believe me. That voice I heard.
Was in a dream.
Sometimes it was, not last night. I was in that room. The voice is on tape. It's on the machine. Olive, turn it on. Olive, please turn it on.
I'll turn it off.
No, leave it on. Our mysterious rumor. How do you know it
Oh,
isn't
because
Eric?
I know. Because.
How do you know?
Because.
How do you know? Tell me.
Because, he isn't, anybody. There never was a rumor. You just thought there was a rumor, and I promised Catherine I wouldn't discuss it with you. Alan, you must go back. You know that yourself, don't you?
You're lying, Olive. Why are you... He was here. He was in this house. I showed him the room. I talked to him.
Yes, that's true. Somebody did come to the house, but he never came back. He never rented the room. Catherine decided not to rent the room.
What?
With his name in it.
Well, Alan, that was an old book that has been lying around this house. You must have seen that name on...
Why are you lying to me? What are you trying to do to me? Get out! Get out of this! Get out of this house! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
Damn, Alan. Shit. is his sister's room that he just broke into? I guess so, Kathy. I'm confused too, Sears, but I think Kathy's right. I think the sister's behind all this. You got him, Alan.
It's so quiet. Catherine, you should have seen him. I hope he hasn't hurt himself. Alan?
Oh, okay, Kathy. The room, the tenant. Thank you. Following way better than I am.
Please tell us if you're all right.
Yes.
Well, he's alive.
What are we going to do?
Leave him alone for now. I've had all I can stand of this. It's too late to call the hospital now, but first thing in the morning, I'm going to have them come for him. It's all I can do, Olive.
Yeah, that makes sense, Kathy.
Who is it?
Good one, Alana. What? Oh, fuck, Alan? Oh, there you go. Yes. Smart. Smart. Did it do anything? Oh, fuck! Anthony Perkins is a fucking superhero. What the hell? Did you see that? That was insane. That's the strength you build up from carrying bodies out and pushing cars into swamps. He blasted it down. That's exactly what he did, Kathy. He can see.
No, don't.
What? Oh, bitch. Kathy did call it.
See.
Yes. You would have killed me. You wanted to kill me. Why? Because of your face?
Ain't nothing wrong with her face.
I had the scar taken away. But it was a mistake. The mark of your crime should have been left for you and for everyone to see.
And there was no scar, no rumor. You wanted me back in that terrible place, or dead.
You killed one of the greatest men that ever lived. One of the greatest minds deliberately. You murdered him. You murdered him. You murdered him. You murdered him. Murdered him.
Damn. Whoa. Look at him in that, looking like Matlock in that suit. Original Matlock, not Kathy Bates Matlock. She doesn't wear those gorgeously tailored suits.
I have made sufficient
White
progress
suits.
that I can write this to you now. First, I must tell you there really was a Harold Dennis. He did come to the house that day and rented the room, but he called that night to say his mother had died and he wouldn't be moving in after all. It was then that I conceived the idea of impersonating him. I knew you were disturbed at the prospect of having a stranger in the house.
Hi.
I thought I heard you come in. How did the new class go?
Well, music appreciation isn't the most challenging course in the curriculum. But
Music appreciation?
And it's a very good one.
dinner be ready soon?
Just about.
It's funny because one of Anthony Perkins' sons did go on to become a musician.
I ask
So,
you and Olive to forgive me so that I can
music
begin to
appreciation.
forgive myself. And for another selfish reason. If my progress continues at its present rate, I should be able to leave here soon. If, of course, you consent to take the proper steps in my behalf. Knowing your generous nature and how unhappy you were here yourself,
Wow. Shoes on the other foot. No! Is he going blind again? What? Oh, that's fun. Okay. I mean, it's kind of a little gobbledygooky, but that was a fun ending. Oh, wow. Okay. My goodness. Well, that was How Awful About Allan. And I mean, obviously, I want to know what y'all think, so please tell me in the chat what y'all thought of that. But I gotta say, overall, as a whole, I really enjoyed it. Ending leaves a little to be desired, but again, as a whole, I really enjoyed it. Just the sequences really that they set up and then like executed. There was the tension and just there was like a stylization. There were a lot of factors that kind of worked in its favor, I felt like. Yeah. I mean, it's and again, it being a TV movie, I didn't necessarily expect too much, but that was more than what like. It had exceeded my expectations because I wasn't expecting a lot. It gave me more than I thought. So, I think that Perkins obviously gave a great performance. I mean, and, you know, at the end, I mean, he's good at just the look on his face. Like, you just like, what is he up to? He's up to something devious, isn't he? I mean, you know, and yeah, what was it at the end of the day? Just a case of sibling rivalry? I don't know. I mean, I think that I guess what left me kind of stumped with the ending was just the idea that so like he still had to go to the asylum because like he you know like developed this blindness because of the death of his father. Like he's like I don't know. It just he what guess I still don't understand why. I mean, it wasn't on purpose. It was an accident. So like, and he obviously he didn't feel guilt over his father's death. It was like, I guess the flashback stuff to him as a kid. I guess I just didn't quite understand why. Like, I guess I thought there was more to it about maybe that, you know, like they were going to reveal more behind the father's death to show he wasn't involved, or that the sister was more involved. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I guess I just kind of expected a little bit more there, but it's still, again, I think that Curtis Harrington, being an experimental filmmaker, avant-garde filmmaker, understood, and I mean, even as a queer filmmaker, the difference of like not difference, but style and substance and how you use it, right? And just the like those sequences where Alan is like wandering through a hall, or you know, he's in his father's room and he's like seeing this blurred figure. You know, there, like, every time it kind of got me, oh, whoa, okay, this is, you know, because it's just it's an atmosphere, it's a vibe. So I think that was just like, you know, because of his expertise as a filmmaker and just his sensibilities, kind of had a certain style to offer this like psychological thriller that it really like elevated it to somewhere else. So yeah, and I think Alana, yeah, I think that's her. Like, I'm the kind of person, I want a bunch of answers, but always the best answer is like, no, being as vague as possible, right? Like, it's just that the writer has to, on some level, know, you know, you have to there. That's always the thing to me. I need to be able to see some degree of logic, but at the very least, I can appreciate that subtlety is the greatest thing. You know, like, don't give us too much. Don't, like, you know, don't give us too much substance. Like, you know, just show it, kind of put us in a vibe, Skinamarink, right? I mean, it's just one of those things that I guess more now than ever, you know. I mean, you can really capture an audience with just style, but you gotta know what you're doing. And I think they knew what they were doing tonight. I think this was a pretty solid movie. So I enjoyed it. It was, again, I think it was a psychological thriller is a good way to wrap out the year 2024, you know. Again, just all about the past and trying to move on from the past. And did Alan move on from the past? Who knows? But we've got to move on from the past year of 2024 on to 2025, and we're very happy to do that. And so that was the last episode of 2024. So next time you see an original episode here on the Scream Stream, it'll be 2025. But don't worry, there will be more programming on here as we go into the new year. As always, on January 1st, we celebrate what is Public Domain Day, which is when all the stuff from 19 whatever, whatever the year, the next year of things to enter the public domain, it's always on January 1st. So, we celebrate with a movie marathon, just movies from the show, not anything from that particular year. And if you're curious, this particular year is going to be 1929. So only 2 more years until Frankenstein and Dracula are public domain. And I can tell you that we are patiently waiting that date here. Hopefully nothing changes between now and then, but in 2 years, those classics that I absolutely love could be shown on this show. Will they? I hope we're still going. We have plenty of movies to take us that long. We celebrating this year, celebrating 100 movies, 113 movies. We can go to 200-ish. We've got plenty of material, but more stuff will be entering. So we'll be celebrating Public Domain Day January 1st with a movie marathon of public domain horror movies. And the next film on the docket, I'm going to have to look that up real quick. Let's see. The next film on the docket is... So we're staying in the 70s, believe it or not. We usually jump back and forth, but we're gonna stick in the 70s, and we're gonna revisit a regional filmmaker that we've seen a film from before, with some talent that we've seen in a few different movies. And this is going to be the 1976 film Keep My Grave Open, from director S.F. Brownrigg, who directed the film Don't Look in the Basement. I want to say Don't Open the Basement, but it's not. It's Don't Look in the Basement. He also, I think he kind of like assisted on some other movies we've seen. Some of the cast from Don't Look in the Basement was also in Encounter with the Unknown, which we watched at this time last year. So this is a regional filmmaking joint from a regional filmmaking crew. I think they were based mostly out of Texas. I know the Encounter with the Unknown was out of Arkansas, so that's close enough for some overlap. So I don't know if this film is regionally out of Texas, but this is a regional film from SF Brownrigg. So excited to always kind of connect back around to things that we've seen before, and crew and filmmakers that we've can expand a little more on. So very excited for that, but we'll be able to catch that in the new year. Yeah, I think Scream Sickles is good for the winter, Alana. I like that. I think, name for every season. We're a seasonal show here. We very much go off the seasons. So I think that's perfect. But we're gonna be we're gonna be I don't know what this film, what Keep My Grave Open, will be like, but rest assured we'll have some films coming up on the docket about the winter themed variety. Everybody loves a good Abominable Snowman movie, so we'll be getting one of those. in the next couple weeks. So the new year is bringing a lot of great stuff for the Scream stream and our Scream sickles, Scream streamers. Go by many a name, but all of our wonderful viewers that have been really making this year one of our best. And everybody that tuned in tonight, of course, Alana, Kathy, Sears, Noah, and anybody else that tuned in. And even if you don't chat, we're happy to have you. And again, all of y'all that I just mentioned, you over the past year have shown us a lot of support, which we cannot express how grateful we are for it. I mean, again, it's enough for me to come on here and just spit out facts about movies, but to have other people to give jokes, make observations, like that's what this whole show is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about creating a community around this stuff, and you guys are exactly the community that we've dreamed for. So it's been a great year, 2024, with our Scream streamers, and 2025 we hope to continue to build the crew. So spread the word, get everybody to like and subscribe, and we'll continue to do our part and try to I know my social game is not it's lacking, but I'm certainly going to continue to try to crack the whip on myself and pick up the slack. So we're looking forward to what 2025 has to offer. But again, really appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight and for 2024. So I guess until 2025, I was like, I gotta find the end credits. I always have trouble out there. Until 2025, sweet screams, everybody. And to all a good fright. Miss you, Evan. Enjoy your sabbatical.